How's it going, people? For today's video, we're going to take an in-depth look at the Hit the Road event, and this is mainly for newer players. We're going to take a look at a couple of the best loadouts, as well as the rewards, and I'm also going to share some tips. But first, I want to explain what it is. So here's sort of a good description of what Hit the Road is and how it works. So yeah, to sum things up, you're going to have to escort a van. It's going to stop at 4 different locations. You have to complete an objective at each of those locations, and once you get to the 5th and final location, you'll have to defend the van for 6 minutes. You won't be able to craft your own weapons, but you will be able to craft traps, and you'll also be able to get weapons and traps and materials by searching items and opening chests around the map. And I'm going to show you a really good way to find chests and Hit the Road a little bit later, but that's how the Hit the Road event works. Next up, we're going to take a look at all of the possible objectives you'll see at each of the locations. I was able to find a total of 9 different objectives. Like I said, you're only going to see 4 of them, so it's not going to be the same each time you play. I know right here you can only see 8 of them, so we'll go ahead and start with the one that you can't see here, which is called the Strange Lands. And now for something a little different. For this one, all you have to do is just defend the van while it drives through. It is going to slow down a little bit, but just throw up your turrets, spam your abilities, and all you have to do is just defend it while it goes through. We also have an objective called Bridge Out, where you have to build a metal bridge for the truck to cross. And this one's pretty easy. You will have to use metal though in order to build it. This next one's called Infestation. It says destroy the mist pods. Be quick or you'll need to eliminate any mist monsters that hatch. So for this one, you're just going to want to run around and destroy the mist pods before they spawn mini bosses. The best way to complete this is just look at your mini map and look for the mist pod symbols. An easy way to tell which level it's on is to look and see if there's an arrow near the mist pod symbol. If the arrow points up, that means the mist pod's on a level above you. If the arrow points down, that means it's below you. And if there is no arrow, that means it's on the same level you're on. So just use your mini map for that one. There are quite a few mist pods, so you may want to have multiple people running around to look for them while somebody stays back and defends the van. One way you can make the mist pods a little bit easier is to have a couple people run down below a little early before the wave actually starts. That way they'll have a little head start and they can destroy the mist pods a little bit faster. This next one's called Minor Delay, and for this one you'll have to rescue survivors stuck in the mine. You're going to want to have at least 2 or 3 people running around and looking for those survivors because there's quite a few of them. Make sure you have at least one person stay back and defend the van. This next one's called Fill in Blue, and it says collect blue glow from the surrounding area to provide energy for the truck. And for this one, all you have to do is just find 16 blue glow. Most of them are located on the side of the road outside of the storm shield. So for this one, you should have at least one person stay back, build around the van and defend it, while everybody else goes and looks for blue glow. The next one's called Pit Stop, and it says defend the truck while Pop gives it a tune-up. And this one's sort of similar to the Overheat objective. You'll have a minute to build around it, and you'll have to defend it for 4 minutes. So just make sure you build around it for that one. This next one's called Overheat, and you'll have to defend the truck while it cools down from the heat. At one of the locations, your van could possibly overheat and stall. If that happens, you'll have a minute to build around it. And once that minute is up, you'll have to defend the van for 4 minutes. So make sure you build around a van for this one. This next one's called Signal Boost. It says build a tower, then collect a radar dish and place it on top. So it's just like build the radar, except you only have 1 tower. It doesn't matter which materials you use to build it. There's a total of 36 pieces, and as soon as you finish building it, you're going to have to look for a radar dish nearby. Whoever built the radar should be able to see it on their mini map. But once you collect that radar dish, you'll have to put it on top of the tower that you built earlier. And last up we have Record Dash. And it says each player collects a record before time runs out. You will be able to see yours on the mini map, but if you don't see it right away, that means somebody else's record has spawned in and they should probably look at their mini map. But once everybody else collects theirs, yours should show on the mini map, and you just have to run around this location and pick it up. Just tell everybody on your team to look at the mini map and you shouldn't have any problems with this one. And those are the different objectives that you'll see at the first 4 locations in Hit the Road. Like I said, for the 5th location, you'll just have to defend the van for 6 minutes. Next thing I want to show are the rewards. One of the ones you can get is this Hit the Road loading screen. You can also earn a lot of gold as well as pirate tickets. You can also get Battle Pass XP. There are also a couple of Hit the Road banners. I'm not sure if they returned this season, but for whatever reason they were taken away the last time Hit the Road was available. So I'm not sure if they're going to be available or not. But here's what those two banners look like. Here's one of them, and here's the second banner. Again, I'm not sure if those are going to be available this time around. Hopefully they bring them back. But if not, then yeah, these are what the banners would have looked like. But as far as heroes go, you can get Rex Jonesy, and he's a pretty solid hero. I do use him sometimes in my support team when I'm trying to increase my damage a little bit. I'll leave a link to some Rex Jonesy gameplay in the description if you want to go check it out. You can also get Fossil Southie, and I would strongly recommend that you get him. He's a must-have hero, one of the best farming heroes in Save the World. He's also pretty decent when it comes to melee, and he's really useful when it comes to blasted badlands. So if you don't have Fossil Southie yet, make sure you complete this challenge and get him. So yeah, that's it when it comes to the rewards. Next up, we're going to take a look at a couple of different loadouts you can use. In my opinion, the very best one is the Dragon Scorch loadout, and this is the one where we use the Blast from the Past team perk. For our support team, we have Birthday Jonesy, Prehistoric Isa, Snuggle Specialist Sarah, Rex Jonesy, and Crossbones Barrett. And the reason I recommend this one the most is because this is the same loadout I used when I beat the Impossibly Spotless quest. Everybody in our lobby was using this same loadout when we beat it. And for those who don't know, Impossibly Spotless is the quest where you have to complete Hit the Road without letting the van take any damage. So if you're trying to complete that quest as well, then this is the loadout I would recommend using. And it doesn't have to be exactly like this. You could also switch Blast from the Past with Happy Holidays. I feel like that would be another really good loadout. And I feel like you could also use Blakebeard's Stash. But if you use that, you're going to have to put in the heroes to activate it. So in my opinion, this is the best hero to use for Hit the Road. I guess you could also use a Teddy loadout, and I think another good loadout you could use is the minigun loadout. And this is the same one I use for dungeons. Basically, you want to use heroes that have abilities that can kill a lot of husk and have short cooldowns. Because like I said earlier, you can't craft your own weapons, so you're going to have to depend on your abilities a little bit. But in my opinion, the Dragon Scorch loadout is the best one. As far as tips go, the first thing I would recommend doing when you first spawn in is to start farming right away. Just search every container that's nearby for herbs. And the reason you want to get those herbs is so you can craft gas traps later. So that's the first thing I would recommend doing as soon as you load in. And you'll also want to farm whenever possible throughout the escort, because like I said, you're going to need materials to craft traps later. The husk power level does increase after every objective. So for the power level 140 version of Hit the Road, first they start off as power level 140. After you complete the first objective, they'll then be power level 153. After you complete the second objective, they'll be power level 174. And after you complete the third objective, they'll be 192. And after you complete the fourth objective, they'll be power level 206. And they'll stay at 206 for the rest of the match. Next tip I wanted to point out is how to make all the chests appear on your mini map. In order to do this while you're escorting the van, you're going to want to have at least one person farming and searching containers on the side of the road while everybody else is defending the van. And while they're farming, you're going to want them to look out for a map. It looks very similar to the pirate map that we saw during the pirate event. If they're able to find it, it's going to reveal all hidden chests for 7 minutes. And again, that's going to allow you to get better weapons. You can also get a lot of materials for your traps. So that's how you get all of the chests to appear on your mini map. Sometimes when you complete an objective, you'll get the option to choose a reward. I'm going to go ahead and show some of those different options. On this first one, you had the choice between a mechanics deal and a medics deal. One increases the storm shield radius of the vehicle, and the second one makes you regenerate health whenever you stand near the vehicle, and you will have to vote on it as a team. In the second example, you have an option to restore a lot of health to the truck, or make the truck move faster and play music. And another one I saw allows you to increase the group's movement and building speed, or you can choose to double building resources gained from harvesting. Sometimes they'll also offer you weapons, and here are a couple examples of the weapons that they offer. Your team won't have to vote on these because it's a personal weapon for you, so you can just choose whichever weapon you want to. But I would say on average, you'll probably see this choose a reward option pop up once or twice every time you do hit the road. And those are some of the rewards that you'll be able to choose from. Now, once you've completed the first 4 objectives and you're getting close to the final location, before it starts, I would recommend recycling all weapons and traps you don't need. That way you can use those materials to craft traps that you do need. You're also going to want to start building as soon as you're able to, because you're only going to get 1 minute to build. That way you'll have a little extra time to build. And there's only 2 directions they can come from. At the final location, they can either come from the south or the east. So those are the only 2 directions you'll have to focus on. You could also put a lobber shield if you want towards the south. It could make the defense a little bit easier. But yeah, once the van is parked, you'll have 1 minute to build, and then you'll have to defend the van for 6 minutes. And I believe the mini boss spawns in with 1.5 minutes left, so you're not gonna have a whole lot of time to kill him. Fortunately, he doesn't deal damage to the van, he can only destroy your walls. So technically you don't have to kill him. But yeah, he should spawn in with about 1.5 minutes left. You can also use defenders during the defense. And here are the rewards that I got after I completed the power level 140 and possibly spotless challenge the first time. And that sums up all the tips I have for this one. I do plan on helping people with Hit the Road on Twitch, so if you need some help with it, be sure to follow on Twitch or join our Discord. You can also get help from there. But that sums up everything we're going to go over for this one. Before I go, I did want to give a huge shout out to everybody who's been using creator code A1. I appreciate your support. Anyways, I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching.